Hi everyone, happy August. Can you believe that we are in August? The flowers are definitely hitting their stride now and filling in beautifully in this area. I cannot believe how much growth since just the last video. It looks so beautiful, but that's not what today's video is about. I want to show you the long awaited patio garden and go through all the plants that I planted in this space. I'm so excited to show it to you. It came together beautifully. It was a ton of work and my body is still feeling it, plus other projects that I'm working on I'll share with you hopefully later this week. I'll have another video, so 2 videos this week. So without further ado, I would love to swing you around here. Well, let's do a little sneak peek. Oh, I love it so much. Okay, come on in, guys. Doesn't it look so pretty? It really just completes this space. So I had a large plum tree in this area right here that has been slowly dying over the years, and I took it down. Can't believe that I took a whole tree down with a little mini chainsaw. So it was time and we enjoyed it very much. And yeah, so that's gone. That was right there. It's just so hard to believe. And then I had which is this tree right here, Royal Raindrops crabapple that I have honestly moved twice in this garden now. It was originally back here at one point, and then it was on the side garden, the side driveway garden for a bit. It was really suffering there this year. It actually looked like it was starting to die back in spring. So I moved it, and it gets a lot of great sun here. I thought that this would be a great canopy because we need the shade. So I had mentioned to you that I wanted to put a small pond in here. Well, as I was digging, I uncovered a couple of things. One was the conduit and the electrical leading to the greenhouse. I ran into that line and that kind of scared me. And then I also ran into 2 large kind of electrical containers that contained all of the inner workings of the sprinkler system that is installed here. We have a Rainbird here with the pop-up sprinkler heads, and I have 1 by 1 capped all of those off myself and converted those to drip irrigation. So there is no pop-up sprinkler heads currently back here in the garden, but there was. And now all of that operates the drip irrigation, and there's no drip irrigation in this area either. The garden has become such a small and intimate space that really I just use my hose link. I love to come out here and water, so that's basically what I do. But I do have drip in the knot garden here and in the raised beds, so that's helpful for sure. So let's talk about the plants. Starting here at the corner, I have a baby gem boxwood. I love baby gem boxwoods. They are one of my favorite. I also have these up my front path. I like them very much. I've got 3 of them in this space, and these came from this area. So in spring, before I made this the vegetable garden, the obelisk was about where the fountain is. Excuse me. And then there was like a swoop of baby gem boxwoods around the obelisk with some other little perennials that were popping up inside that. It never made sense to me. I'm like, really starting to feel like things are making sense to me, which is a good thing. We don't want to go backwards. We want to go forwards and fix the things that never felt right to us. So that's what I've been doing. So I have kept several boxwoods, too many boxwoods, in containers and watering them day after day after day in the heat, had them off in the shade, trying to protect them. And they're so happy to be planted, and I'm happy that I planted them. So this space now has allowed me to add some more curves, which is great because you know that the driveway garden is very straight and very angled, and I'm actually even adding more straight lines to that space. So having the nice curve back here feels really nice. I may put stepping stones at some point. And then next to that, I have a apple blossom carpet rose. I love this rose. I do not have a lot of landscape roses. I have a lot of climbing roses. So one of my goals was to add more roses, shrub roses, drift roses, carpet roses to the garden. So this new space gave me an opportunity to do an opportunity to do that. So there's one here, and I'm trying to be mindful of space too, leaving some room for some annuals if I want to put a few annuals, keeping in mind that these are going to grow and fill in. And yeah, so I'm excited to have that. Apple blossom, carpet rose. Then in the back here, I should have mentioned that already. This is a hedge that I'm starting of Hidcote lavender. I love lavender, and one of the goals of mine for this new garden was to have the lavender right off the patio where we can enjoy it and, you know, smell the lavender and see all the pollinators. It's a beautiful thing. I had a row of Sweet Romance lavender in the past that I really, really enjoyed. And it is finicky here because they don't like a lot of moisture. And in Zone 7, New Jersey, we've been known to have quite a bit of humidity and rain and so on and so forth. It's been a little bit drier these past couple years, especially this year. But yes, dry, no fertilizer. It'll be perfect here because it's even getting the radiant heat off the patio, direct sun in the afternoon. So I think they're going to be really, really happy here. This one's a little on the puny side because what I did was I bought three 3-gallon pots, and each pot had 2 plants, and this one happened to be a little bit on the smaller side, and I did just clip them all back. Their blooms were spent, and I'm hoping maybe I can even squeak in one extra flush of blooms before the season is over. But I put a little bit of mulch, just a little bit of shredded hardwood mulch down here. I've got, this is pink coreopsis. I love coreopsis. Those sweet daisy little flowers. You can see a little hovering pollinator right over there. And these are all perennials, by the way. So far, you know, everything in here is shrubs or perennials. So very low maintenance. The challenge will be keeping little cloches and things over these so that my bunny friends don't chomp them down in spring, because that's always that's always a chance of that. But again, I keep clover heavily in my lawn, and I promise you it helps so much. They are in the lawn 90% of the time, and then maybe I'll find a rogue snapped zinnia laying in my path, but and it's okay. Plant extra then. It gives you an excuse to buy some more plants so you have a backup if a bunny destroys one of them. I like the bunnies back here. In fact, I have filmed this video like 3 different times because I've got, you know, it's summer, family, my boys are here, you know, it's busy, or the weather isn't cooperating, or whatever the case may be. But in one of my iterations of this video, a sweet little bunny came running through here. If I can unearth that footage, I will post it here because I just thought it was so cute. And I can put, oh, little baby bunny. Hi, little baby bunny. I ran right past my feet. Hi. Okay. So in front of my royal raindrops, which, by the way, the fruit on a royal raindrops is persistent. You know, I talked about the plums dropping on the thundercloud. First of all, the plums are smushy. They are smushy. These are little hard berries. They are wonderful for the birds. I've already seen the birds flocking to this tree. You can see there's a little bit of rust right there on the tips of the leaves. This is nothing compared to some years where I've had really bad gall and things on my crab apples in the past. But anyway, the fruit on this is persistent, which means it's going to stay on the tree. It's not going to drop and make a big mess. And the birds are going to be able to enjoy it, you know, at their leisure. I'm sure that this will be gone by winter, but if not, then they have something to snack on in the winter time. And then in the front here, I've got 3, I think these are Primo Wild Rose Heuchera. It's either that or the Dolce Wild Berry. I always get those 2 confused, but I've got a drift of 3. This one, oh my, is hurting. You got to imagine, once again, these things have been in containers. They've been grouped up here on my patio where I have not shown you the space. You guys know this was like all digged up turf, just like in a pile. Oh, it's just, and it's not even about being embarrassed to show you guys, because especially if you follow me on Instagram, I will show you all the good and the bad and the ugly going on over here. And there's a lot of it, let me tell you. But I didn't want to see it myself. Like, who wants to go out onto their patio to relax and have a big pile of work ahead of them? So I'm I'm so glad it's done. So a nice little purpley drift of heucheras here, which also don't love full direct sun, but eventually this tree will give them a little bit of shade. So, you know, your sunlight's going to change and things are going to change as your plants grow, and then you can edit and change things around as needed. But I think that that color will look great with the pink coreopsis. And then I have also Roseanne hardy geranium just dotted all around in the garden back here. I love them. This is a little drift of lavender bubbles, allium. I tried to mirror some of the other plants that I had in the existing border. I've got some millennium allium back there, so I thought I'd try a little drift of the lavender bubbles. It's a very similar, I think this is lavender bubbles over here. Let me check my tag. Hold on. Nope, this is serendipity. So I have a few different types of allium just kind of dotted around. I love the allium. They're so sweet. And then I plan on planting some more tall allium in the fall. So stay tuned for that because I love the look of those big, tall alliums. So I will poke some around in this border. Isn't it so pretty? Like, look at just this picture right here. I just can't even believe. And the birds, I'm enjoying it like so much. I can't even tell you. Okay, where was I? Okay, so then this is another one of the apple blossom roses. I'm trying to just kind of go through this a little bit quickly because I know I am chatty. I have a couple pin cushion flowers back here. They don't do the best in my garden, but I love them. So I plant them anyway, and I hope for the best. This is a white blazing star, also known as liatris. It is a wonderful native plant, but from what I understand, the white is a hybrid, so it's not entirely native, but I'm seeing lots of native pollinators on it, which makes me happy. And I do have the native liatris mixed into this border as well, a couple different places in the back there. But absolutely beautiful, the white here. It just glows. It's so pretty, especially in the evening, as does this hyssop, agastache, hummingbird mint, whatever you would prefer to call it. A rose by any other name would smell as sweet, right? Pollinator magnet. This is the Blue Fortune. And I also have Blue Boa, which is this one here. I have a few of those. The Blue Boa, the blooms are a little more chunky. They're a little more wide and a little deeper purple, and they're much more floppy, or we could call it graceful, because it's graceful, right? We don't need to shame our plants. This one's much more sturdy and upright. This one, the Blue Boa, bloomed much earlier for me. And this one, because see, these were here already. So I should mention that. These plants were here already. I did move a couple of them around, but the ones that are in the border here were already in this space from last year and other years. So this one was a little bit later blooming, but you can see it's nice and tall and upright. I highly recommend this plant. The most attention from pollinators in the garden. And even the spent blooms look beautiful. This, you can't, I don't think you can hear it, but it's just buzzing. There's honeybees, there's bumblebees. This is a beautiful plant. And I did add just one more right back there. So it's tiny. Next year it'll put on that height when it comes up. Lots of goodies. I'm just enjoying everything. I've got some Gara in here. White yarrow. Sorry, I know all the names of these things, but once you're, kind of in here and talking about everything, your brain, little brain freeze there. So white yarrow, which I love. I have not had yarrow in my garden in forever. I had it when we had our old garden, and I'm glad to add some of these things that I miss back again. So speaking of white flowers, we've got the white liatris, we've got the white yarrow. I have white crepe myrtles. These were supposed to be muskogee, which is a lavender purple, and they are blooming white. They are absolutely beautiful. All three of them are white. So I am happy about that, because if one was purple, oh, that would have been not good. These trees were not cheap. I planted them in fall when they were dormant. They were all tagged and labeled correctly, and it was totally just a mix up on you know, on the merchant's part. I don't want to slam them or say anything bad, because you know what? I told them about this and they were so extremely gracious. They offered to refund me, or they offered to give me a gift certificate to do some more shopping. And I really like them so much that I'm going to order some more plants. It was Wilson Brothers. You can trust them. This was just one of those fluke things. Like I said, I planted these in November and they were dormant. I have nothing but good things to say about Wilson Brothers. It's where I just bought my rosy teacups. All good experience, wonderful customer service. So, you know, these things happen. I was really bummed at first because I wanted the Muskogee, but now that these are really coming into full bloom, I really enjoy the white, and I'm really glad that they all match and that they were so kind. You know, these are healthy trees. It's not like these are dying or diseased. So I cannot be upset about that. And again, they treated me just absolutely wonderfully, giving me options on how to rectify it because they felt badly too. So I give them 2 green thumbs up because I like Wilson Brothers and I've purchased many things from them in the past. Another geranium Roseanne. I'm sorry, I'm trying to like keep on task here. This is 3 Maynite salvia, which by the way is in this little pot here. This little pot is very sentimental to me. I've had it in my garden for pretty much every day that I have lived in this house. And I love it. Some things are sentimental. So here it is. There's a big crack in the back of it because it is terracotta and I just leave it out. I should probably bring it into the greenhouse so it doesn't completely crumble at some point. But it's got a Maynite salvia in it that's been coming back faithfully for me year after year. And I just could never part with that. I love it so much. I have some Lysianthus here that is starting to bloom. And no, I did not grow those from seed because I never will again. I tried for 2 or 3 years and got 0 germination. And I'm like, you know what? I just don't have time for this. I'm not doing it. So I buy starts. I got these particular starts from Burpee, and Burpee has a nice collection of Lysianthus starts and starts in general. So yeah, I'm really, really happy those are starting to bloom. They'd be already blooming by now, but I had all of these things held hostage in pots, watering them for months now. I showed you the alliums here. This is another one of the apple blossom roses. I want to give a shout out, and I know I've mentioned this before, but this Verbena vervain is absolutely marvelous. It is spready, so you can thin it and move it around your garden if you want. This was one seed that I started under grow lights 2 years ago, and now it has just been blooming profusely for months. It's a little floppy, which is okay. I kind of like that it's like kind of floppy and spready, whereas you have, you know, your lollipop verbena back here, which is really upright. I like it. And it's such a cool color. I know the light isn't doing it justice right now, but in the evenings, it's very glowing, which I like. I like the little pops of white glowing in the garden here. So then I have my 3rd baby gem, and obviously you saw the big baby gem there. I'll step back so you can see. So these baby gems, I feel really ground the space, really make things. It gives it structure. It gives it something solid, defining the space. You know, it's defining this border, and it's giving it something more than just fluffy and floofy things to look at. Even though I could look at fluffy and floofy all day, it gives you a little bit more variety, which I think is nice. I'm super pleased with it. I'm going to end this video by showing you something I'm really excited that I added to the greenhouse, and I love it. I want to show you. Hold on. Okay. So you'll notice I have a little dry sink on the back wall. I'm so excited. So this was $60 on Facebook Marketplace, which is a huge steal. I actually considered keeping this in our dining room. I just love it so much. But I have been looking, honestly, for a couple of years for a closed cabinet dry sink type thing for inside the greenhouse, because everything is open shelving everywhere you look. And that's fine for pots and containers and things that you want to easily grab. But for me, I work much better and much more efficiently in a space when it is nice and tidy. And I can't, I want this to be like my little Zen getaway. So I didn't want to look at bags of fertilizer, bags of birdseed, fountain cleaner, mosquito bits, all that stuff. I needed a place to hide all my dirty little garden secrets. So that's what this is. I really love it. It's got hold on, I'm fixing this towel here. It's got these cute little floral details in the corners. You can see it is well loved, which I am very glad about. That way, if I smash this with a shovel or I bang into it, I'm not going to be too upset, because let's be real, this is a greenhouse, not my living space. So it can be worn and torn with that patina, and I actually prefer it. Same with my sink. It's got love. It's well worn. And if I drop a pot in here, I'm not going to be torn up about it, because this sink was $100 and this cabinet was $60. So it'll just add to the warmth and age of the piece. Anyway, that's it. I'm so excited. Look how you can see the lime lights from the window. I think it's so pretty. This is all passion flower vine, little passion flower fruit hanging down there. I'm loving the garden life this year, you guys. I really am. Look out this window here. Like, I cannot believe that this is something that I put in spring. A few months ago, this area was not here, but I stared out the window and I said, what do I want to see? I want to see my fountain, because it was shoved in the corner before. I never enjoyed it. It was in the back here where the obelisk is. Didn't really make any sense. Now I can see it from inside the house, from the patio. I just love it. I still have a lot of work to do here. There's so many weeds. It's ridiculous. I have some bare area of gravel that I still need to fill in. But, I mean, look. For one growing season, all that's growing in there. Herbs, peppers, tomatoes, sunflowers, strawberries. There's a big cabbage in there that looks so pretty. Potatoes. My potatoes are suffering a little bit, but just so many things. Borage and calendula. I harvested all my garlic. It's just been unbelievably enjoyable for such a short period of time. With that, I'm going to end this video, and I'm going to thank you guys so much for watching and for being here. I will have another video coming out, fingers crossed, this week, because I want to show you what else I've been working on, because it's looking so good and I'm excited. All right. I hope you guys are all enjoying your summer gardens. If you haven't subscribed, I sure would appreciate it. And I will hopefully see you later this week. All right. Have a great day, everyone.